By the dawn's early light, they embarked on their long journey. Excitement always touting their arrival. When they play, the thunderous sounds of their success echo through arenas across the land. They come to win and cast a stark silhouette over those that would wish it different. For they are the Philadelphia 76ers, and this team triumphantly marched to their own music during the 79-80 NBA season, giving proof to the practical notion that hard work breeds good fortune. And together, as one cohesive unit, they developed a collective pride that thrilled and entertained an entire city. Teams had struggled to make the coveted NBA Finals, but only Philadelphia and Los Angeles had played well enough. For the second time in 4 years, the 76ers had weathered a grueling regular season, winning 59 games to take their rightful place in this battle-scarred pressure cooker. From the onset, the series promised to be a conglomerate of supernatural play that would have all eyes riveted on the action. One key to Philadelphia's success seemed to hinge on the inside game of Darryl Dawkins, who responded brilliantly while averaging more than 20 points a contest. But how can you stop a bubbling Mount Vesuvius named Kareem, who had the hosts scratching their heads? First Dawkins, then Caldwell Jones tried their hand, but eventually a smoldering volcano will erupt. Answering the call, as always, Julius Erving managed to mesmerize the basket with one of the most impossible and talked about moves ever made. After 5 games, the 76ers trailed 3-2, but Jabbar injured his ankle and would rest through Game 6. Philadelphia appeared ready to dominate as Laker rookie guard Irvin Johnson would jump center. But the man who had earned the name Magic truly was just that, as he poetically put on one of the finest shows in NBA postseason history, playing all 5 positions and carrying the Lakers to the championship. As an injured Doug Collins offered solace to his teammates, the 76ers had much to be proud of, for they had played as a team. The man responsible is third-year coach Billy Cunningham. Whether it is personally scouting a rival squad or working with his young players, Billy has become a fine teacher and strategist.
You have Bobby here. Bring it down into the corner. Force the defense to do something. Now you've created the situation. Now you have a good box. You're too close here. Spread it out a little bit more and bring it down more to the corner.
During the stretch run with playoff position on the line, Cunningham pulled a brilliant gem out of his storehouse of knowledge. In Atlanta, 2 seconds remaining. Down by 2.
Here it goes. It's hard. Julius Irving has it. Puts up the shot and scores, and it counts. The basket is good as Irving barreled in from the right side, and we will go to overtime. Doug Collins has to kiss this off the rim and the glass, and here he does. Julius Irving comes barreling in on the right side. There you see the clock on top.
Instructing or plotting game-winning strategy, Billy always gets caught up in the rhythm of the game.
On the weak side. That's a foul! Blow the whistle! No one blew a whistle, Jack! Timeout!
A player's coach, Billy is highly respected by the team.
And use the clock. That's it, Steve. Good D. Good D. Way to work, Bobby and Steve. Walk! That's a walk! Is that a walk or is that me? Oh, me, oh, my.
Cunningham is a winner, and 76's owner, Fitz Dixon, is glad Billy is back in Philadelphia.
Billy has a philosophy that if these fellows don't like and enjoy playing basketball, they shouldn't be playing. And this has made a tremendous difference in the attitude of our players. You'll notice our players were playing as a team, not as individual stars. That made all the difference in the world. The best thing I ever did was to bring Billy Cunningham in to coach our team.
An all-star during his career, Billy Cunningham's number hangs high in the Spectrum rafters. Billy, along with his assistants Chuck Daly and Jack McMahon, have expertly put their past experiences to practical use this year. With a spirit built on unselfishness, the 76ers have the concept of team first. Billy Cunningham fashioned their game around defense, and they willingly sacrificed for the good of the whole. Always looking for that fine razor edge that would keep them sharper than all the others. And when the opportunity presented itself, they ran, filling every lane, leaving no doubt about the outcome. Out of the blocks with an 8-0 start, the 76ers were indeed an explosive extravaganza, and people of all shapes and sizes came to watch. Their 59 victories were the third best ever in the history of the franchise, and improved their record over the previous season by 12 games. Each player fulfilled his role, and as one, they fostered in Philadelphia a collective pride. Maurice Cheeks was a coach's delight. The 2-year Whippet-like guard from West Texas State made the offense move. His relentless defense and blazing speed enabled Mo to finish among NBA leaders in steals and assists. As he gained confidence with every passing game, it soon became apparent that he could and would drive on anyone. Year after year, Caldwell Jones remains the unsung hero. Yet year after year, CJ is one of the most dominant defensive forces in the league. This season, he helped Philadelphia become the most exciting shot-blocking team in basketball, and added his unorthodox lean-in jump hook to crucial situations. With a nickname like Chocolate Thunder, it's hard to whisper about the other half of the gruesome twosome, Darryl Dawkins. A starter for the first time in his NBA career, this 23-year-old has just begun realizing his vast potential.
Darryl realizes that, the importance of naturally winning and doing the things that he does best, not always being away from the basket. And I think that he found that he could really overpower the centers, and I think this was by far Darryl's greatest year.
The newest 76er, Lionel Hollins, was acquired in mid-season from Portland. He fit in immediately and proved to be the missing ingredient the 76ers quested for. With his ability to tunnel through small openings, Train added the experience of an NBA champion. As the perennial best defensive forward in the league, Bobby Jones flourished this year as the sixth man, igniting the spark off the bench.
The uniqueness of Bobby Jones is that he can come into a game depending on the circumstances that are going on the floor and do whatever is needed at that moment. He just has a multitude of skills that he can adapt to the situation, and I think that's the beauty of his particular role with our ball club.
Whether it's defending or leading a flurry of baskets himself, Bobby Jones has proved beyond any shadow of doubt that it is worth it just to watch him cook. His compatriot and a fellow Pine boy off the bench is Steve Mix, better known as the mayor of Mixville. Steve has designated certain areas on the court under his jurisdiction, and all who enter his domain do so at their own risk. Constantly in motion, Doug Collins has been the 76ers' perennial all-star guard. Plagued with injuries much of the season, Doug's courage and determination has set a stirring example for the rest of his teammates. Henry Bibby is an 8-year veteran of the NBA wars, and when the 76ers needed him through the rugged days of January and February, Bibby was there. Filling in as the third guard on this talent-laden team, Bibby's aggressiveness was an asset on a squad that forever looked for the open man. Sometimes that person was young Clint Richardson, who along with Jim Spanarkel and Bernard Toone formed the 76ers rookie trio. It is these men, along with their leader Julius Erving, who make the Spectrum an action-packed sports showplace. Team President Lou Scheinfeld is proud of the 76ers home.
I think it's extremely exciting for the fans of Philadelphia to come to the Spectrum. Anybody who has been around the country and has visited other arenas, as I have, and some fans have, will tell you right off the bat that the Spectrum is probably one of the best facilities, if not the best, in the United States.
Each year, 41 regular season home games take place inside these walls. Convenient public transportation, accessible parking and refreshment make coming to the Spectrum a pleasant way to liven up the week.
Okay, you have row 8.
Courteous attendants offer all the help required.
Have a nice time.
And upon entering the realm of professional basketball, excitement abounds.
Now Mix drives the ball inside, lobs the pass on the outside left lane to Bibby. Bibby trying to post up, Archibald does, and takes him downtown, and Henry Bibby got a 12-point.
To thank the fans for their support, giveaway nights dot the home schedule, offering the crowd anything from 76er jackets and shirts to cars and gift certificates.
Each wins.
The inimitable voice of retiring Dave Zinkoff doing the honors. Then it's showtime, and what would the Spectrum be without featuring Philadelphia's world-renowned Mummers string bands? With the 76ers shooting and the Mummers strutting, the Spectrum serves as the perfect timeout on the town. One of pro basketball's all-time greats also makes the Spectrum a unique entertainment mecca. He's the doctor. After criticism in early NBA years, Julius Erving fought to the top of the NBA elite. canning 27 points a game and finishing top 10 in scoring steals and blocked shots. But the doctor is a rare individual who believes in putting back into the game what he has gotten out of it. And so he can often be seen on other courts as well, brightening the lives of youngsters less fortunate, yet so very appreciative. Back in his domain, Doc is a constant variable to the opposition, for they never know what he'll do next.
When I'm handling the ball, I size up a defensive player, and, maybe I'll fake and feint, and then I'll see some daylight. That's when I become aggressive and assertive, and I try to fill up that daylight with the ball and with my body. And lo and behold, a lot of times you find yourself under the basket, and that's when you end up shooting a reverse layup or twisting a turn and a dip and a dive, or doing those different things that happen during the course of the game, but they're certainly not planned in advance.
He is unmatched in what he does. And what he does better than anyone in the world. In this, his greatest year in the NBA, it's simple to see why there will never be another like Dr. J. When Julius Erving and the 76ers played away from home, they attracted more than 500,000 spectators. Yet life on the road does not hold all the glamour it pretends. Many hours are spent not running through airports, but simply waiting for flights to depart.
Hello. 9-year-old back.
Then from one plane to one city, and all the little miscalculations that take place along the way, as trainer Al Domenico finds out.
Spinnacle and mix are wrong again. Wrong again. Just consistent.
Countless numbers of hotel elevators serving as gymnasiums for budding young talent. Time spent whiling away the hours, sandwiched between the tens of thousands of miles they travel each year. Finally, out the door and onto a bus that will cart them to one of the numerous arenas they will practice and play in during the changing months. The session is informal and serves as a good time to sharpen up on shooting and get down to thoughts of the game that awaits. Tonight, they play the Indiana Pacers, and with a grueling 82-game schedule that has them traveling more than most any sport, these athletes must remain in top physical shape to maintain their lofty performance level. The game ends, but the process continues. Up early to catch a flight that will bring them back home for yet another game that very night. It is a pattern that repeats itself many, many times throughout the year. More games, little sleep, more travel until the regular season ends and the NBA playoffs commence with their specialized pressures.
We're crowded.
The drawn-out days of winter have passed as the 76ers once again geared up for playoff competition. Hobbled by injuries, Philadelphia had question marks in the lineup as they met the Washington Bullets in the mini-series. But those doubts were soon put to rest as Caldwell Jones and Julius Erving both played like men possessed. The Bullets, 1978 NBA champs, had taken the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals 2 years earlier. But with the addition of Lionel Hollins, Philadelphia was running the aging Washington establishment into early retirement. The Bullets tried to penetrate the vaunted 76ers armor, but every time Washington changed directions, they ran into a roadblock. In 2 straight games, Dick Motta saw his team eliminated from the chase, while Billy Cunningham and the 76ers continued the hunt into the next round. In that session, Philadelphia faced ever-tough Atlanta, the only team they did not beat in a regular season series. Though double-teamed, the Doctor continued to produce, while Darryl Dawkins and his supporters plucked the feathers right off the Hawks. Double D, during one game, scored a personal playoff high of 30 points. The 76ers sped up their usual slow-down games with Atlanta, and the change of pace paid off. Sporting a 3-1 lead into Game 5, Philadelphia iced the series on an alert Irving to Bobby Jones touchdown pass that catapulted the 76ers into the Eastern Conference Finals with Boston. All the hard work was serving dividends for the team and their devoted fans.
From day one, they were serious about it. They played with a sacrificial spirit through the year. They really cared about winning. They worked hard in practice. And it was the happiest, most pleasant year that we in the front office and the coaches have ever had as far as this ball club was concerned. And I think the fans really got involved and enthused about this brand of basketball.
The cheers from the crowd simply served to say it was time for the Celtics.
By Caldwell Jones. Gets it out to Holland.
Look at where he's playing him! Look at that! 3 seconds! A weak call! A weak one!
Hollins takes it to the top of the key. Hollins swings the ball down inside.
Look at Doc!
Drive to the hoop!
Take him! Take him!
Boston had finished the regular season with the best record in the league, and this series was bringing to mind the famous Philadelphia-Boston shootouts of the past. With healthy knees for the first time in his NBA career, Dr. J had pulled his team together, much like the uncommonly seasoned rookie the Celtics had relied on. His name, Larry Bird, and his offensive match with Doc was reminiscent of the great Chamberlain-Russell duels. Still, the 76ers worked on wearing the Bird down, and Caldwell Jones did a better job than anyone. His tenacious defense and aggressive rebounding provided the impetus to push the running game full speed ahead.
Run it, Henry! Come on! Come on!
When a Celtic did get in the way, the ever-present Bobby Jones appeared and finished the play. When their outside game fell flat, Boston penetrated too deeply, and the 76ers showed their annoyance. In one game, the Celtics had a chance to win, but Boston's ML Carr took the inside route, failing to heed the no passing signs. Center Dave Cowens fumbled the ball, and the final seconds dribbled away. The 76ers would manage to win both games in Philadelphia. Their 2 home victories gave them a 3-1 margin and had Spectrum fans bidding the Celtics adieu. For game number 5, the 76ers ventured up to the always treacherous Boston Garden, where they had not won a regular season game all year. Grimly, the Celtics took to the floor, knowing that they and only 2 other teams had ever rallied from a 3-1 deficit. The 76ers confidently strode onto the court, never letting the Celtics have the last word. It started with Darrow and did not end until Boston was weary with fatigue, having had their running game alarmingly quiet, while 5 Philadelphia players rang up double figures. Down by 6 at halftime, the Celtics tried to weave a web around the Philadelphia defense. But the intricately woven maze only worked in short spurts. With Hollins canning a team-topping 24 points and Bobby Jones scoring his playoff high of 19 off the bench, the 76ers never looked back. They held the Celtics to just 42 points in the second half, getting unnecessary help from a tired and frustrated Boston team. The looks of anguish served as a stark contrast to the joy exhibited by the new Eastern Conference champions. Boston's defeat marked the first time the Celtics had lost 3 games in a row all season, and the 76ers had accomplished that by holding them to under 100 points in all 5 games. Though they would be beaten by LA in the championship round, it could not detract from a moment such as this. No one felt the pleasure more than Julius Erving.
Well, when we knew we had won the series, happy isn't strong enough a word. In looking back on it, it probably was the highlight of the season because we hadn't been able to win Boston all year. We had got beaten so badly the 3 times that we went up there, and then we go up and win 2 games in the playoffs. It's just something that none of the experts could have predicted, and none of the players could have predicted. You know, we just had a grand time on all the guys who had been there before, and all the new guys just got sucked right on up into the exuberance of the moment or the hours.
More than 1,000 fans met their charter plane on its arrival. And for Coach Billy Cunningham, his 3 years of molding and reworking his players into a team is the major factor why a solid foundation has been built for the future. The 76ers returned home NBA Eastern Conference champions. Together, the 76ers and all their fans shared a collective pride.